Well, alright, I'm sorry. This is just a really emotional time for me. This is the last time I get to review The Sims 3. I promised myself I wouldn't cry. But yeah, okay, the 3DS version of The Sims 3 is the last version of The Sims 3, which means after this, I will have reviewed every version of the game. And that means that at one point, I would have had owned every version of the game. PC, 360/PS3, Wii, DS, 3DS. I have owned all of them. I sold the DS version because it was just a piece of garbage, but I did have it every at one point. So, Sims 3 for the 3DS. 3DS version is very similar to the DS version, yet very different at the same time. Let's just say that the core gameplay is essentially the same thing, but it's not quite as much of a piece of crap. And the graphics are better. It does look a lot like The Sims 3 for the other, the console and PC, but I think they say that this is supposed to be the full Sims experience on a handheld. That's just bull. Okay, here's how it is. The DS version, you had 3 files, and on every file you could create one Sim, or pick a household of 2. On this one, you have 1 file, and you can create 1 Sim, and that's it. Well, to start with. Then, you can create, but the thing about this is you can create your neighbors. When you create your neighbor, they'll automatically just, come up to you, and if you can befriend them, or, date them or whatever, you can move them in with you. So I don't know how many you can have per household. I would assume 2. I'm not guaranteeing it though. So yeah, and then the clothes, it has I don't know if it has exactly everything, but it has pretty much every article of clothing that the console version, the Xbox version has. But they only come in 1 color each, and then you have to unlock all the other colors. Now that is just ridiculous. You also have to unlock all the hairstyles, even some of the most basic ones. Like, you start out with 4 or 5 of them. I mean, I guess they kept that element. They tried to make it like the PC version, yet they kept the terrible elements of the handhelds and the consoles. The fact that you have to unlock stuff. That was the bad part of the console, but they kept that. I'd say for the gameplay, the tutorial is aggressive. It makes you go through it, makes you do things. Now, I guess the only thing really to compare this to is the DS Sims 3, and compared to the DS Sims 3, this is the greatest game in the world, but when I say the same core gameplay, it plays the same, but I don't even know how to explain it. Well, you see, what am I trying to say here? Well, I'm pretty sure there's more careers and skills and personality traits and things like that. A lot of the careers are basically the same as the console version, so I mean it is pretty similar. There are karma powers. I didn't try any out yet, but they do look pretty cool. Like, you just shake the DS and it'll have an earthquake. What it is the top screen. The bottom screen is an aerial overhead bird's eye view of your house or where your sim is, and you use the stylus, to use classic control and tell them where to go. And then the top screen is a close-up view of your sim and what he's doing. And if you can turn on the 3D, and you can actually see their 3D environment, and that is pretty cool, somewhat. In my opinion, their environment is really creepy looking. Like, it's almost like a Dr. Seuss book in 3D, only, they didn't detail a lot of this thing, details, they didn't detail it too well, and it just ends up kind of looking pretty bad. 2D, it looks fine in 2D, but 3D, it kind of looks pretty creepy. That's just my opinion. You probably might think differently. Not the best game to show off the 3DS 3D ability. Do I recommend getting it? If you're a Sims fan, hardcore Sims fan like me, you have a 3DS, you don't know what else you don't know what you want to get for it, then yeah, by all means. Or if you just want something to do to pass the time on a car ride or something. But I mean, if you're just casual fan who just wants one copy of The Sims and that'll be it, then get the PC or the Xbox / PS3 version. Just get so either get it for Xbox, PS3, or PC. And none of the other versions are really worth it, to put it simply. This one has an excuse to be lacking, so it's not the worst game in the world, but it's definitely not. I'm lucky I bought Nintendogs because this was going to be the only game I got for it. But it's not too bad. But don't go out and buy a 3DS just to get this game. But if you have like I said, if you have a 3DS and you don't know what to get, you're a hardcore Sims fan, or you just want something to pass the time, it's ideal, But other than that, don't just rush out and get it just because you're like me and think, oh my god, I have to get every version of it. Like, speaking of which, I did not. There was one version of the game of The Sims 2 that I never got, even though I tried, and that was the Game Boy Advance version. And no, I don't want it now. I just thought you might want to know that. I have had every version of The Sims 3, but I did not have every version of The Sims 2. And every version of The Sims 2 is more worth playing than every version of The Sims 3. So, alright, well, that's pretty much my review. To wrap it up one more time, don't rush out and get a 3DS just to get this, okay? But if you have a 3DS and you're a hardcore Sims fan, or just want to pass the time in like a car ride or something, then yeah, this is fine. But it's nothing special, okay? I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Anywhere from a 7 to a 7.5. Much better than the DS version. I will give it that. If you want a handheld Sims 3 and you have a DS and a 3DS, get the 3DS version. Don't put yourself through the torture. Just trust me, okay? Learn from my mistake. Don't buy it.